Welcome back to the Pearl Report. A man is currently behind bars for molesting a boy in the clubhouse of their residential complex. The case has sparked calls for a publicly accessible sex offenders register. In the United States, many sex offender registers are posted online. The blue dots show where convicted offenders live. Their names, photos, and crimes are also displayed. There are no plans for such a sex offenders register for Hong Kong, but some people here are taking the law into their own hands.
Now, it's really a pedophile's paradise. I mean, there's kids running around here everywhere.
This is the Laguna Verde complex in Whampoa, with about 18,000 residents. More than a fifth are children. Public relations consultant Ray Rodowski owns this apartment.
It's a very peaceful place, and that's, I think, why it was such a shame and so outrageous that this whole incident took place.
On July 19th, 2007, a resident follows a 12-year-old boy into a shower stall in the complex's clubhouse.
He apparently had walked in to the shower where this boy was taking a shower and asked to borrow the soap. And then that's when he molested this boy in the shower number 6.
When the boy, who loves swimming, begins avoiding the clubhouse, his sister becomes suspicious. She calls the police. The man is arrested. His victim testifies in court. During his trial, the man continues to use the clubhouse.
This video was taken on the 13th of February. He was convicted on the 14th of February.
For child molestation, Yik Siu Hung is sentenced to 20 months in jail.
Here he is, like, 12 hours before he's back in court, and he's raising this kind of trouble. The police came.
I have to wait.
And they won't ban this guy. I mean, it's like, what do you need to do to get kicked out of there? It's disgraceful. And I've seen, through my work as a journalist, lives ruined by sex offenders. I thought that I had to take them to task on this, hold them accountable. It's a stack of complaint letters that I began writing.
Ray writes to the Law Reform Commission. He wants a publicly accessible sex offenders register.
That increasingly there is a need to let people that are in contact with people that have sex offense records, residents have a right to know.
He also writes to Laguna Verde's management company.
The Estate Owners Committee, along with the management company, has every right to prevent the lawbreaker from coming back. Management's going to allow this guy to come back in, then they have to be held accountable. That they could easily have passed a rule that simply said anyone convicted of a crime on these facilities will no longer be allowed to access them. I mean, it's that simple, but still, they're afraid to take a stand.
Goodwell Property Management refuses to be interviewed. Its parent company is Cheung Holdings.
What is Cheung stand on having sex offenders in the community? Goodwell has refused any comment. Yeah, so maybe being the parent company, you should have some responsibilities for how subsidiaries are handling their.
I'm so sorry about this.
That's quite all right.
Anyway, may contact you again. I'm so sorry.
Property is Hong Kong's only growth industry, and you're going to lose credibility unless you come out and make child safety and resident safety your priority.
Ray finds, though, that few fellow residents want confrontation.
Immediately after this incident was that parents just stopped bringing their kids there. I mean, it was dead. Parents, just withdrew. Because I don't think that they understand what their rights are.
So Ray gathers support online.
So I started a petition on Facebook. The group has now 24 members. You put in something like Laguna Verde molester. It's the first thing that comes up. You put in Hong Kong child molester. That's on the second page.
And that's part of the punishment as well. You get labelled and you have to live with it.
Mrs. Wu has 2 young children. They've lived at Laguna Verde for 7 years. She says she'd never heard of Yik Siu Hong's case until now.
Police should be telling, no? It's a safety issue. Perhaps what he looks like, since, he's committed an offence like that.
She thinks the management should ban the culprit from the clubhouse.
There's, the deed of mutual covenant. If you breach it for, destroying other people's usage, enjoyment of a property, he should be under house arrest.
Or be made to move away.
I'm not going to be telling my friends, hey, come to my luxury apartment, it's, got sex offenders. I certainly wouldn't want him living here again.
This August, former British rock star Gary Glitter was released after serving a 2-year jail term in Vietnam for child sexual abuse. Returning to Britain, he had to sign the British Sex Offenders Register. This requires him to tell the police his address. Glitter had wanted to come to Hong Kong because he says he could go around without being noticed, but he was barred from entry. The Hong Kong Immigration Department says usually it doesn't bar foreign sex offenders because it doesn't have access to overseas criminal databases anyway. Nang Po is a research specialist for World Vision. She's based in Cambodia, where sex tourism is rampant.
We always welcome the tourists who come for the historic and they enjoy the treasures of the country, but not for sex abuse or sex purpose.
Cambodia is in the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. Each of the 10 ASEAN countries has set up a police hotline for sex offences and a sex offenders register. These have led to 100 arrests in 2006 in the region, but tourism still grew by 15% in the same year. ASEAN is currently proposing to share sex offenders registers with each other.
Once the information is in place, the sex offender, once you cross the immigration officer, they have the record and the police who can keep an eye to protect the community.
Nang hopes Hong Kong can join the fold.
For Hong Kong, I would love to recommend to share information that you get as much as you can to your neighbors, to your family, to your community and the society, whoever you know, about the abuse case.
The Hong Kong Law Reform Commission rejects the idea of a publicly accessible sex offenders register.
Sexual offenders' innocent family may be targeted or may suffer as a consequence of public knowledge of the offenders. There's also a risk that it may, in fact, drive sexual offenders underground.
There's a lot of people that are sympathetic, but they've expressed to me that they're torn on this issue because they don't want to be seen to be taking away someone's rights.
I'd refute the suggestion that this proposal is somehow slanted in favour of sexual offenders. It's an interim proposal intended to be brought in quite quickly by administrative means rather than through legislation. It's part of a much wider review of sexual offences. It may be that a more comprehensive legislative scheme may be proposed by the Commission, but that's a long way down the track.
And what about the rights of the community? Who would allow their children to be in a changing room with that man? No one can answer that question, and that, I think, says it all.
Public consultation for this interim proposal will last until the end of this month. Well, thank you for watching our program. Until next time, from the Pearl Report team, good night and good health.